All right, what is going on, guys? SteelTwins back at you with another video. Week 3 picks, man. The first 2 weeks are already behind us. Here we are with Week 3, man. Got a special guest to welcome back to the channel and to the predictions. Our boy, Maiden. What's up, bro?
How you boys doing? It's always awesome to be on your guys' channel and repping the black and gold here, man. Always great to have you on. Thank you for tuning in. Work is a bitch, but hey, what can you do? But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, glad to have you on. Here we go, Steelers, man. We'll get to that part soon, but for those that aren't subscribed to Still Maiden, you're missing out majorly, man. So link to that will be in the description below, man. Check out the link there, as are the links to the sponsor of this week's predictions, BetQL. In case you didn't know, BetQL's best bets algorithm went 13-2 on 5-star bets for Week 1 NFL games between Thursday and Sunday. So once again, find their information in the description of the video and take advantage of BetQL now. Hey, all you bettors out there, have you ever wanted to get advantage on your sportsbook? Then you need to download BetQL, the only app you'll need to make smart bets. Their best bets computer model scans over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you a best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from spreads, over-unders, and player prop bets. But you don't want to use the model and prefer to do the research yourself? Then BetQL has all the necessary tools for your research needs.
There is sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing, line movement so you can jump on betting opportunities in real time, team summaries highlighting previous success against the spread and the over-under, and team lineup, breaking news, and injury status updates.
Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success in winning streaks, as well as view your rank on their leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. You can also head to try.betql.co/SteelTwins to get started now. Enter the discount code TWINS at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings.
You can find all this information in the description of this very video. Make sure to check out their BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL. Also, check out their sportsbook offers page if you live in one of the eligible states to claim free offers upon signing up at one of the many sports books listed. Don't miss out on the chance to beat your sports book this football season.
Once again, guys, that is BetQL. Thanks for sponsoring this video. And I guess we can get into predictions now with Thursday night game, which I think should be an obvious one, right? Because Tyrod Taylor is out. We all know Watson's not going to play, so they're going to have Davis Mills, I believe, starting. We got the Panthers at the Texans. No-brainer, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I got Carolina easily here. You know, the Panthers, they've surprised me early on so far, and, you know, I could have expected them to be, you know, half decent this year because it looks like they're finishing up a rebuild. But, you know, they've surprised me so far. They basically shut out the Saints last week after they destroyed the Packers. So, yeah, you know, Carolina, they're looking really good. Offense is clicking. Defense is looking really good. I like this Panther team this year, and I got them giving Houston the business 31-10. Give me Carolina.
Yeah, I got to agree with your prediction and your score prediction. Exactly. Carolina, 31-10.
Yeah, I think Carolina remains on the 30, goes 3-0. I don't see much from this Texans team at all. Carolina, 29-17.
Yeah, it's pretty much a no-brainer to start off Week 3. Sunday games, we have the 0-2 Colts trying to get their first win, but it's going to be another tough one as they face a divisional rival in the Tennessee Titans, who just came off a big win against Seattle. What's your prediction here?
Honestly, this was a difficult one for me because something I noticed with these two is that over the past 2 years, the road team has won, you know, each of the games, and the Colts just always seem to give the Titans a lot of problems. But the Colts this year are dealing with a lot of QB issues. Carson Wentz got hurt again last week, so I don't know the status quo of him. I think Indy can make it a good game because of their run game and their defense, but, you know, I got to give the Titans a lot of credit. They look completely dead in the first half against Seattle, and they beat them in overtime. And, you know, God knows how long it's been since the Seahawks lost a home opener. Not with Russell Wilson, I can tell you that much. But I got to give Tennessee a lot of credit. They rebounded well from that blowout loss to Arizona. So difficult one for me to decide. So whenever I'm unsure of who to pick, I usually go home team. So I'm going to take the Titans to get their second straight dub and drop the Colts to 0-3. I got the Titans in a close one, 30-25.
Gotta agree. Gotta go Tennessee. It's just the injury with Wentz is uncertain. I think both his ankles are swollen apparently, or something along the lines. It's not good, especially early on for Carson Wentz, which was a major concern and honestly an expectation when he came into town. And here it is already. So, yeah, I don't know about the Colts quarterback situation, so I gotta go Tennessee. I like where they're at right now with the rebound win against Seattle. So, give me Tennessee 29-23.
I'm going to have to agree with both you guys. Tennessee. If Jacob Eason is playing, I can't see him doing much, even against terrible Titans defense. I just can't. I mean, they could rely on the run game a lot, but I don't think that's really going to be enough. So, Tennessee, 31-21.
Next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons at the New York Giants. This is honestly a tough one for me, but what's your prediction?
Oh, boy, another tough one here for all the wrong reasons. In my opinion, if you ask me who the worst team in the league is right now, it's the Falcons, because 2 losses for them, both have been complete and utter ass whoopings. I mean, they got destroyed by Philly in week 1, and then, Brady giving the Falcons more PTSD last Sunday with 5 touchdowns on them. So, yeah, Atlanta, they're just horrible. Then you got the Giants. They're not much better, I have no clue how they lost that game the way they did last Thursday. That was one of the dumbest ways to lose a game ever. I mean, out of all the screw-ups they had in that game, from Darius Slayton dropping a wide-open touchdown from Daniel Jones, and from Daniel Jones's rushing touchdown getting called back because of holding, and not being aggressive after the interception they had. They had that game won until 97 Dexter Lawrence jumps off sides, and the Redskins, yes, I'm still calling them the Redskins, they kicked the game winner. I have no idea how they lost that game. It's beyond me. So I have no idea. I mean, this is one of those games where I call it, unfortunately, somebody has to win. So I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here and take the Giants to win 24-20. Give me the Giants.
Yeah, this one's just tough for me. Both teams were not looking good. I do agree. I don't know how the Giants lost that game. They had every opportunity to win and still handed it to the football team. I don't get it. I really don't. It's quite comical.
Defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, really. I'll still go with the Giants, though. I just don't like the Falcons right now. I mean, they have no saving grace. I think this is Matt Ryan's last year. He needs a new change of scenery. They need to go a different direction. That offense has, no running game, only 2 weapons, really, and that defense is, nothing.
It's horrible.
The Giants, I like what they have on the defensive side of the ball, but can they honestly produce? It's not showing immediately. Barkley still can't get nothing going. I have no idea what's going on with him. Daniel Jones is looking solid in his first 2 games here, but, I guess he's going to have to hand it down to Sterling Shepard again because he's been having a good first 2 weeks. And I would know that because I didn't play him in fantasy, and I'm instantly regretting it because I'm 0-2 so far. So not a good start for me. I have the same record as the Giants, so.
And the Falcons.
Yeah, fuck me. Let's go Giants, so 23-20.
This is a shot in the dark for me as well. I literally have no idea. Usually I go with the home team, but I'm actually just going to go with Atlanta here. I don't know why. I'm going to be completely honest with you, but I can just see Atlanta getting the victory. I can. For the Giants to literally hand the football team a win like that, I can see them doing something similar to Atlanta. I really can, because that's just how terrible the Giants are, no matter how much talent they got.
It'd be a total Giants thing to do.
Yeah, so I'm going to go Atlanta. I'm going to say 27-24. It's just a terrible game, though.
Yeah, but what will not be a terrible game is the next one, an AFC West battle. We have the Chargers at the Chiefs, man. It's going to be a very good game, man. What's your prediction?
I agree. I think this has potential to be a really good game. The Chargers, they were kind of held in check by the Cowboys on Sunday. Justin Herbert threw a really bad interception to them, but still, I think it's a little bit of growing pains for Justin Herbert. He's still kind of young. But, yeah, Kansas City, speaking of handing teams wins, of all teams they had to hand a win to, it had to be the damn Ravens. Clyde Edwards fumbling. Ravens were able to run out the clock and convert that fourth down. And, yeah, so Kansas City, that was actually Patrick Mahomes' first ever loss in the month of September.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. But, yeah, Kansas City, they're down, but they're certainly not out. There's still a lot of season to go. I don't think it's anything to be too worried about. I think they're going to be okay. They come back home. They play the Chargers. Arrowhead, obviously a very tough place to play, one of the biggest home field advantages in the league. I got the Chiefs rebounding and taking this one, but I do have the Chargers making it a good game. Give me 35-28 Kansas City.
This is going to be very bold and could be a quote-unquote upset. I'm going to go Los Angeles. I'm going to go the Chargers, man. It's hard to bet against the Chiefs, especially in September still. And I don't know if the Chiefs have ever lost 2 in a row with Mahomes at quarterback. But I like the Chargers so far, man. I know they lost to the Cowboys by a field goal, a game that they easily could have won. But something about, Herbert against the Chiefs, he's kept them in check so far in his career. This is a divisional rival. In Arrowhead, I think Herbert's going to come to play, as will the whole Chargers team. So give me LA in an upset, 37-34.
I could see an upset happening here, but just like I said, it's hard to bet against Kansas City, especially at home. Kansas City, they suffered a heartbreaking loss with Clyde fumbling the ball, but I think they bounced back against a divisional rival and getting a victory in a tough matchup, a high-scoring matchup, actually. I'm going to say 33-30 Kansas City.
Should be a good game nonetheless, but it could go either way. Next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. As a Steelers fan, Maiden, man, what's your prediction? It should be interesting.
Well, I'm going to try to keep it at a minimum because I got a lot to say in my pregame preview that I'll probably have out by Friday. So I think the biggest key to victory for us here is, obviously you got to make sure that TJ Watt's healthy to go for this game. I mean, looking at him on the sidelines on Sunday against the Raiders, he didn't look like he was in pain, and thankfully on Twitter I saw yesterday they came out and said that it was a minor injury and there's a good chance that he can play in this game. So I think that all the difference comes in this game is to be TJ Watt against Joe Burrow here, because we all saw what happened last year when Burrow played against us and Burrow's playing in this game. Basically just shut him down, Jamar Chase has, looked okay. He's looked okay in his first couple of games. But I think you got to stop Joe Mixon here, plain and simple. I think he's second in the league in rushing yards right now. So that's going to be a big key right there. I'm not going to go whole X's and O's here when it comes to the offense, but my God. I mean, we all know Ben plays well against the Bengals. But with him dealing with the pec injury that Tomlin said that, earlier today, I don't know, man. I mean, I think this is definitely a game where you got to give Najee way more than 10 carries, Matt Canada, if you're listening to this, which you're probably not, but basically get a run game involved. Offensive line has to do a lot better because Najee played really well on Sunday. It's just that the O-line didn't do him any favors. So, all that being said, those are my biggest takeaways here. I think it's going to be a lot closer than it should be just because it's a divisional rival game and because usually we tend to play down to competition like this. I'm going to go ahead and take my boys to get this job done over the Bengals, but I got it being close. 21-14. Give me the Steelers over the Bengals.
Man, I don't know what's bolder, picking the Steelers with all the injuries or having them in your prediction score 20 points because they haven't at all yet.
I know, right?
I mean, they scored 20 points against the Bills, but I
think it was 26. But because of the special teams touchdown, that's why we got over 20 points.
Yeah, the offense himself. But I mean, I'm hoping most of the pieces for the defense can get back healthy. Bush, Hayden, Watt, obviously all with groins,
and even Highsmith.
Yeah, Highsmith as well. Jesus God, where the hell did that come from too?
Right.
If we can get a majority of them back, which obviously is a big hope, but at the same time, you don't want to risk further injuries since it's too early into the season. Either way, the pass rush should still be able to eat with Melvin Ingram at starter if that's the case, because that offensive line of the Bengals is obviously garbage. It pressures Burrow a lot to force him to throw 3 picks on 3 straight throws, one of them being a pick 6 to Roquan Smith, which led to Chicago's victory. And plus, the Bengals are on the road for a second straight week in Pittsburgh this time. So it's just, again, it comes to the offense. Can the O-line pick it up? Can the O-line give Ben some protection? Can the O-line give lanes for Najee? I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this offense at this point. It's more of just a wait-and-see game until we get some consistency on what this offense could actually be. It's still early into the season. I'm not going to freak out, panic yet, but, man, this offense got to get something going to help out the defense for sure. But give me Pittsburgh, 20-16. They get a win. They get a rebound win in Hines.
Yeah, after losing the home opener, you got to bet the Steelers are going to want to get a victory, especially against a division rival in the Bengals, who beat us last time we faced them, actually.
Don't remind me.
I know, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go with the Steelers here. I do think they got to try to establish a rushing game, but that's hard to do because of the problems with the offensive line. But you got to protect Ben. You got to open lanes for Najee, and for the defense, just try to get some turnovers and rush Joe Burrow since he's got no offensive line. I think we can get this victory. But that's a lot easier said than done. And
yeah, especially when you're the Pittsburgh fucking Steelers. I mean.
Yeah, and I can see this game actually being very low scoring, believe it or not, considering how we are right now, and even the Bengals.
I believe it.
But I'm gonna say 17-13 Pittsburgh, believe it or not.
Yeah, I can definitely see this being a defensive bout, even though the offense should come to play. Hopefully they do, but we'll see come Sunday. Next game, we have the Chicago Bears at the Cleveland Browns. Is Andy Dalton playing? If not, Justin Fields will get the start, which I'm sure every Bears fan is ecstatic about. But will that matter? What's your prediction?
Well, I will say this about the Bears. Thank God they have a defense, because if it wasn't for their defense, they'd be like a 3 or 4 win team. They're very mediocre, and Matt Nagy is a terrible coach and a terrible play caller for them, who's bailed out by that defense. I don't know how severe Andy Dalton's injury is, but if I was a Bears fan, I'd be hoping that Fields is going to get the start for this game, because he's looked pretty okay the first couple times he was on the field. But, I think the Bears' defense is keeping them in games like you guys said, 3 straight picks on 3 straight pass attempts, one of them being a pick 6. So, yeah, the Bears' defense looking like it's still good. Then you got the Cleveland Browns. They're coming off a pretty, in my opinion, underwhelming win over Houston. A game in which Baker Mayfield I don't know the whole story of it, but Baker Mayfield apparently got his ribs roughed up a little bit. I think he's healthy enough to go for this game, but I don't know too much about it. And Jarvis Landry got roughed up too. So the Browns are dealing with a little bit of shakiness and a little bit of question marks as well, which is pretty concerning, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan. So, I can definitely see the Browns winning this game. But with all that being said, I think I hear a noise. It's getting louder. Oh, my God. Can this be? Oh, my God, it is. It's my upset of the week. Sound the alarm. I got the Chicago Bears going to Cleveland and upsetting the Browns here. I think the Bears defense is going to pretty much not replicate what they did against the Bengals, but they're going to do something similar, taking advantage of a roughed-up Browns team here and a roughed-up Baker Mayfield. And, yeah, I think the Browns are going to really overlook the Bears because the Bears have done pretty well against our division lately. And I got that streak continuing. I'm going upset here, Bears 24-23.
I like it. That's pretty bold, but also realistic because if the Bears defense can shut down the Browns rushing game, then you shut down the Browns altogether because Baker has no weapons. Literally, I can't name you one other receiver. Maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones, but I read a stat. He's played, 70% of the offensive snaps. He's only been targeted, twice?
Right.
Like, he has no receivers.
Yeah, Landry's hurt. Odell's, uncertain right now.
I mean, they're going to have some young guys step up, some rookies step up, but they're definitely going to depend on the run game a lot. But like I said, if the Bears can shut that down, I think they shut the Browns down. It's just a matter if the offense can pick it up. Can Montgomery get back to the week 1 status? If Field starts, can he be that change that the Bears have been looking for a long time? I'm still going to go with the Browns here. 24-20. I still like the Browns at home. I just don't know about the Bears yet. Maybe it's too early to tell for them, but give me Cleveland 24-20.
Yeah, it's quite uncertain for the Bears right now. They have a lot of talent, especially on the defense. Just like you said, if they can at least limit Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, I think they can get this one if the offense can strike with Justin Fields potentially playing and most likely playing. But, Cleveland, you can't deny the talent they got. They're a hot team. They came off like Maiden said, a disappointing win, but they're still a good team. And at home, they're going to want to get a victory here. I do think this will be somewhat close, though. I really do. But I'm going to say Cleveland 28-24.
Okay. Next game, we have what should be an easy one, I suppose, or at least an obvious one. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Detroit Lions. The Lions led at halftime on Monday night against the Packers in Lambeau and then scored 0 points the rest of the game. Just completely blew the game. Ravens coming off a hell of a win against the Chiefs at their house. So what's your prediction here?
Hate to say it, but no way in hell the Ravens lose this game. The Lions, they gave Green Bay a fight a little bit on Monday. Like you said, they led at halftime, but they got shut out in the second half. But now they're going up against a team that has a much better defense, and their defense, from what I saw on Monday night, looked miserable against the rush. So you have to imagine that with the Ravens having pretty much no run game outside of Lamar Jackson right now because, their starters are pretty much done for the season with torn ACLs, the Ravens are going to run hog wild on the Lions all day. I really don't think this needs any other explanation. This is my lock of the week for my pick'em. I got Baltimore just murdering Detroit here, 48-3.
Wow. Holy shit.
I mean, I can't see Detroit really surviving at home.
No, especially with that corner core Baltimore has, and they have literally no receiving core. I mean, they could try to get a rushing game going, but
If anything, that's the only thing the Lions can try to do and give it to Hawkinson, but that's not enough. That hasn't been enough for the past 2 weeks.
And one thing I saw on Monday, their O-line looked better. It gave Goff a lot of time in the pocket, but they are facing a surprisingly better pass rush. And the Ravens, Oweh, made a big play at the end of the game, strip sacking Edwards-Helaire and recovering the fumble. First-round pick making big play. They got veterans alongside him as well, so, I guess Penei Sewell will have he'll be tested come Sunday as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go with the Ravens. It's an obvious one. For some reason, I see us being close. I saw a little fight in the Lions' offense. It's just a matter if they can remain consistent. Give me Baltimore though, 26-22.
I'm gonna go with Baltimore here. I mean, let's say 34-20. I can see maybe a garbage time touchdown for Detroit, but that's just about it.
I can see Lamar for sure going off though again.
Mm-hmm.
Next game though, we have the Saints, who are coming off a horrible loss to the Panthers. Granted, they had how many starters out? Saints at the Patriots. What's your prediction here?
This is another interesting game, in my opinion. The Saints, like you said, they got dominated by Carolina. Jameis Winston looked like pretty much how he did when he was back with the Bucs with 2 interceptions, I think. But, the Saints, even though I don't think that they're going to be what they were for the past 4 years, they still got playmakers on offense. You can't sleep on players like Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. You can't sleep on those guys. And, of course, Sean Payton's one of the best play callers in the league. But, then you got the Patriots. They dominated the Jets. That's really not saying much because the Jets suck. But 4 interceptions for Zach Wilson against the Patriots. So they gave him a little welcome to the NFL tour. Mac Jones looks like he's playing pretty well for New England right now, but it's a little bit of a small sample size. I need to see more of it. The Saints defense does look a little bit improved, and I'm saying that based off of week 1 against Green Bay. So, this is an interesting one for me to choose here, but I'm actually going to roll with the Saints in this one. I think that they're a little bit more balanced offensively than the Patriots are, and they have better experience. And overall, I just think that the Patriots are going up against, a better defense here. And I think New Orleans goes up to Foxborough and they get the job done. Close game, but I got the Saints taking it 31-29.
Got you. I'm on the opposite side. I think this could be a defensive bout just because, we don't know what side of Winston we're going to get. Again, like you said, 2 picks last week. It looked like the old Jameis Winston that we all expect. Bipolar Jameis Winston.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good one week, looks like a bust the other.
Yeah, this week he's going up against a great defense in New England.
Yeah, really good defense. That, like you said, beat the shit out the Jets. Not saying much, but 4 picks on the rookie Zach Wilson. A turnover machine in Winston, or at least that's what you would expect from Winston. Depending on how you eye Winston, I would say, but, they can force turnovers. Saints are still without some, I suppose, wide receivers. They don't really have a lot of aerial weapons still yet. So I'm going to go New England here. 19-14, this could be a defensive bout. Like you said, the Saints' defense could be healthier. Mac Jones is facing a much better defense in the Saints. But I think New England gets some points on the board. 19-14.
This to me is definitely going to be heavily defensive. Both defenses are very good. The offenses, the Patriots haven't really been getting into rhythm yet. It's only been 2 weeks, but Mac Jones, he's been looking decent, but they haven't really been getting into rhythm. The running game is not too bad with Damian Harris in there. For the Saints, Winston's Winston. Kamara can only do so much being the guy that's carrying the offense really for now until Michael Thomas comes back, but that won't happen for like another few weeks. But nonetheless, in New England, I can see this being heavily defensive, and I can see the Patriots winning it 14-13.
Okay. Next game, we have the Cardinals, who are hot as hell right now. Kyler Murray is on a roll. The Cardinals at the Jags. Oh, you Jags. Good Lord. What's your prediction here?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. Arizona is looking really good right now. I could have expected them to make the playoffs this year, but my God, they are just looking really good right now. Kyler Murray is just balling out. Their receiving core is doing really well, but Chandler Jones, more specifically on that defensive line, or that front, man, wow. I think he has 7 sacks through 2 weeks. The dude's a monster. Yeah, Arizona's playing really well right now, man. And I made a prediction with my season predictions before the season began, and I said that we're going to have a first in the NFL we're going to have a first ever in the NFL this year, because I think all 4 teams in the NFC West make the playoffs this year. It's definitely possible if you look at it.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So Arizona, they're playing great right now. The Jaguars, 17 straight losses for them. I think Arizona makes it 18 with these. This is another blowout for me. No contest. Arizona gets it done 37-7.
Yeah, this is a blowout. This is a lock of the week for me. And the fact that you put it as the Jags have 17 straight losses, holy shit. Wow. That is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so true, because, they won the first game last year and lost the remaining, and they still have yet to get a win. And it's probably going to take them even longer because the Cardinals are just going to absolutely just rampage on Sunday in Jacksonville. So let's go Arizona. Let's go 34-10.
I'm going Arizona. Trevor Lawrence has not been looking too great with the Jags. Not even with the decent weapons he's got in Chark and Chenault, even with James Robinson being the running back now. But the Jags are just god-awful. Nothing's going great for them at all. Urban Meyer's not off to a hot start, as expected, because the Jags are terrible. But he's not really revamping or reviving that team.
I'm hearing there's reports of him possibly resigning.
And it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. It really wouldn't. And Arizona is a hot-ass team, and they're gonna beat the Jags right here. I'm gonna say 30-20.
Yeah, the Cardinals are for sure gonna win this one. I mean, it's no doubt. They're a hot team. Next game, we have the Washington football team at the Buffalo Bills. Man, both teams are coming off their first victories, solid victories. So, what's your prediction here?
Well, I definitely think this is going to be an interesting matchup again. I say that a lot about games, but yeah, I think so. Washington, they were gift wrapped a win by the Giants, but Taylor Heineke, he played pretty well. But what happened with Washington's defense in that game? It just seems like Daniel Jones always has good games against Washington. So, yeah, I was giving Washington's defense a lot of respect, especially after they beat us last year. But, yeah, I don't know what happened with Washington's defense. Then you got the Bills. They shut out Miami, 35-zip, in Miami too.
Yeah.
Because, like I said in my my post-game recap last week against the Bills, I said don't let week one define your season, because even though none of us were alive to see this back then, back in '89 in week one, the Browns came into Pittsburgh. They shut us out 51-0 in week one. And what happened with the Steelers that season? Went 9-7, won a playoff game, nearly upset John Elway's Broncos in Denver in the divisional round. So don't let week one define your season. Buffalo's still a really solid team, and I think their team came back to life, last Sunday against the Dolphins. Now, granted, Tua did get hurt in that game, but I don't think it would have made a difference at all because Miami was just so piss poor in that game. But, yeah, the Bills are coming back home. I just don't think they start 0-2 at home this year. So, yeah, I'm going to go Buffalo in this one, but don't be surprised if Washington pulls off the upset. I really think they're capable of doing it because Josh Allen, it looks like he struggles against strong fronts because we saw what happened when we got up to Josh Allen, last Sunday. He struggled real bad against our defense, and Washington has that kind of defense. So I'm going to go Buffalo. Pretty low-scoring game, defensive game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Washington pulls off the upset. 24-18 Bills.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised as well. At one point, I was seriously thinking about giving the football team the victory, and I really like Heineke's story. He's actually starting to look like a solid football player. Like he could be a solid starter for them in the future. Last week proved that for sure. I agree. If Washington's front seven can eat, if the pass rush can force Allen into the pocket and pressure him, similar to what the Steelers did week one, yeah, they definitely have the chances to get the victory. Tre'Davious White versus Terry McLaurin's going to be a hell of a matchup, that's for sure. Antonio Gibson could have another good game. McKissick could come up big. It's going to be an interesting game for sure. I'm still going to go Buffalo, though, at home. I agree. I don't see them going 0-2 at home to start the season. So give me Buffalo 30-23, but I do think Washington keeps it close.
Washington will definitely keep it close, especially with the pass rush. Like you guys said, if they can pressure Allen, Allen's going to make mistakes, and Allen really ain't going to do well at all. But the thing with the football team is their secondary. Last week, Thursday Night Football, Daniel Jones had probably one of the best games of his entire career. Like, he looked really good throwing it to Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, and guys like that. And a guy like Josh Allen, who was an MVP candidate last year with much more superior weapons than Stephon Diggs, Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, guys like that. If Josh Allen can get the ball to those guys, it's a victory in my eyes for Buffalo. So, That being said, I'm going to go with Buffalo here. I'm going to say 26-20. I do think this will be really close.
Yeah, it should be a good one, though, that's for sure. Next game, we have the New York Jets at the Denver Broncos, who are 2-0 and, honestly have looked solid. So what's your prediction here?
Well, I'm not taking anything away from Denver. A win is a win, but I think that their 2-0 start is a little bit of fake news because, let's be honest, they played two of the worst teams in the league, and the Giants and the Jags.
Yeah, it's fair.
And
now they're facing the Jets.
Yeah, so, people say, everyone said, oh, the Steelers had an easy schedule last year. Like, I honestly can't name an easier start to a season than the Broncos are going to have. And it's good that they're taking advantage of all these easy games because these next couple games are pretty hard for them. Next week, they host the Ravens. Then they go to Pittsburgh to play us. Then they host the Raiders, I think. Then they're at the Browns. Then they're at home against the Cowboys. So those are some tough games they got coming up ahead. And like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Denver, but they got off to an incredibly easy start, and I just think it continues here. I just don't see how it's feasible for the Jets to make it a game. They have looked awful, as usual, to start the season. I got Denver winning this one. I got the Jets getting a garbage time touchdown, 30-13. Give me the Broncos. I got their defense just giving Zach Wilson another hard day like he did against New England, but I'm going to go ahead and take the Broncos.
Yeah, I got to agree. Got to go Denver. You do make a great point about them getting an incredibly easy start. It does get tougher as the weeks go by, so that'll really say a lot about Denver. Their offense is still a little iffy. I love their receiving core. They'll get Jerry Jeudy back in a few weeks. The quarterback situation's still iffy. The running game, if it can be consistent, could be very dangerous with Melvin Gordon and what's his name from
Javonte Williams.
Yeah, Javonte Williams. So I love the Broncos defense as well. They have the potential, man, but these next few weeks will say a lot. They get another easy win against the Jets here. So, yeah, let's go Denver 28-17.
Yeah, the Jets don't stand a chance. They are god-awful. Zach Wilson's being like Sam Darnold when he was with the Jets, seeing ghosts, throwing 4 interceptions against the Patriots defense, and I think he's going to have another terrible game against the Broncos defense. I really do.
It's the curse of the Jets, man, honestly.
Like,
Joe Namath sold his fucking soul for that Super Bowl.
Yeah, he did.
That's right.
Yeah, he did. The Broncos are going to win this. I actually agree with your score prediction, 28-17.
Yeah. Next game, we have another AFC East team going up against another AFC West team. We have the Dolphins at the Raiders. What's your prediction here?
Well, I'm going to start giving Vegas a little bit of credit and a little bit of respect, kind of like how I was with Patrick Mahomes in 2018. I didn't really buy him until he went to a hostile environment and won. And it just had to be against us, where he dropped 6 tutties on us.
Yep, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah, with the Raiders, I predicted them to finish last in the West this year, but so far, so good with them. They're looking like a really good surprise story this year. Derek Carr is off to a really hot start. He's thrown for 300-plus yards in both games so far. And while I will say our defense did a good job for the most part keeping Darren Waller in check, Henry Ruggs, looking like I'm completely wrong about him. He's looking like a good target for Derek Carr so far. Then if Josh Jacobs plays in this game, which he should, in my opinion, he didn't play against us. The Raiders got a nice little posse right there that they can compete with. Now, I mean, and of course their pass rush too, led by Max Crosby. That dude's a beast, man. So Raiders are a very old school team, it looks like so far. They got like a beat 'em up kind of style defense, and I wouldn't call it an explosive offense, but just enough for you to win a game and play good defense as well. Now, I still don't think they're good enough to compete with Kansas City just yet, but in maybe even next year, but a couple years down the line, they could be getting there, man. The Raiders are looking like a really good team so far. Then you got the Dolphins. I still think Miami's pretty good, but them lacking a quarterback right now, I don't know if Tua is going to be good to go for this game, but Miami, I just think they have a tough break for them right here, getting shut out by Buffalo. Now they got to play another good team in Vegas. It looks like the Raiders really love playing in that stadium, too, in front of those fans. That's a pretty dope stadium, I got to admit. But, yeah, I don't know when the last time Vegas started 3-0, but I'm going to go ahead and take, in the words of Chris Berman, the Raiders to start 3-0. 27-17. Give me the Vegas Raiders.
I got to go with the Raiders as well. I do like their team a lot this year. I will say, though, one thing to watch out for down the road, because I do think history repeats itself. The Raiders started 6-3 last year and finished 7-10, and arguably should have finished 6-10 if it wasn't for Greg Williams' stupid blitz call when they faced the Jets, and Henry Ruggs got that lucky Hail Mary touchdown as time expired. So that I don't want to underestimate them or take anything away from the Raiders, because I really like their offense. Like you said, we kept Waller in check, but guys stepped up towards the end of the game. A lot of young weapons on that receiving core that are very reliable. So, yeah, the Raiders are nice. They go 3-0 here, in my opinion. And we'll see what they do down the road. But it's a hot start, and I'm actually very happy for them. So, let's go Vegas, 28-20.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders here to get a victory.
Is Tua starting?
I
don't know.
I don't think he should. I mean, he's dealing with rib injury, and if the Dolphins put him in against a feisty pass rush in the Raiders against a subpar offensive line in the Dolphins, I think that would be very bad for Tua.
Well, who is the backup?
I think that's Jacoby Brissett right now, and he did nothing against the Bills. But if I'm the Dolphins, I'm actually making sure Tua's good, because despite his play and his uncertainty, he is the quarterback for the Dolphins right now, and you want to make sure that he is good and 100% when he gets back further into the season. But if you put him in this game, he has a risk of getting re-injured or even worse, out for the season.
I mean, we know he has injury problems.
Yeah, and
going all the way back to Bama.
Dating back to Bama, where he was it a torn ACL or MCL? Either one, it was really bad though.
Yeah,
some along the lines like that. Yeah, but the Dolphins shouldn't risk it. I think Brissett should start. I mean, the Dolphins could be competitive in this game. I think they could be, especially defensively, but I think the Raiders are going to win the game overall, 24-17.
Yeah. Next game, though, we have the Seattle Seahawks at the Minnesota Vikings. These two have a lot of great history against each other. Vikings are 0-2. Seahawks coming off of a very lucky victory. Oh, loss, because they lost.
Yeah, they had the victory, and then they pretty much let it slip.
Yeah. I'm thinking the Cardinals. The Cardinals had a lucky victory because the Vikings still can't find a kicker to fucking win a football game. Going all the way back to Gary Anderson.
Yeah, he can hit 50+ yard field goals, but can't hit an easy chip shot.
No. So what's your prediction?
Well, the Vikings, they're making me look like an idiot so far, because I had them being my sleeper team this year, winning the NFC North. So far, they've looked asleep on the field. So, yeah, Minnesota's off to as bad of a start as maybe not as bad of a start as you can say, but they're off to just their usual selves, just being incredibly snake-bitten and unlucky. And, I feel for those fans. I really do. I don't think any franchise, except for maybe the Browns and Lions, I don't think any franchise in the NFL has endured as much heartbreak as the Vikings have. That's being 100% honest. And I feel so bad for those fans up there. And, their home opener here, I think they absolutely deserve a W here. But let's be honest, they're going up against the Seahawks. They're coming off a very, tough pill swallow loss to the Titans at home, where they blew a big lead against them. The Seahawks, they've looked a lot better on the road in recent years. And, the Vikings have always given the Seahawks some really good games over the past couple of years, but not this time. I just don't like how Minnesota's playing, and I don't think Dalvin Cook is going to be in this game too, because I think he got banged up against the Cardinals. So just more pain for the Vikings, man. I got Seattle by 2 touchdowns here, 42-27. Give me the Seahawks.
Yeah, I got to go Seattle as well. I mean, I don't know what's up with the Vikings. They have all the potential in the world, just can't find no success. Seahawks get a bounce-back win, in my opinion. Their offense is, it's hot right now. DK, Lockett's going off right now. Wilson's looking good early on. They're starting to get a running game going with Chris Carson. So, line's looking decent. Vikings, man, again, I just don't know what's wrong with them to start the year. They lose at home here. I'll go with Seattle, 30-27. This could be another field goal disappointment, honestly. I would not be surprised.
No, I can definitely see this game coming to a field goal. I really do, for the third straight time against the Vikings. I can see the Vikings possibly getting a victory here at home, considering they did lose 2 games by field goals. But the Seahawks, after letting go of the victory against the Titans, they're the more feisty team. They're going to be angry, and they're definitely going to want to try to get a win. And Seattle just seems more hot and the much better team. So I'm going to say the Seahawks, 32-29.
Yeah. Next game, though, we got a probably possible game of the week. This is a damn good matchup here. We have the Buccaneers at the Rams. Wow. What's your prediction here?
Well, this is my game of the week right here. Obviously, you got 2 great teams going at it. The Bucs, in my opinion, they're the best team in the league right now. Not just because they won the Super Bowl, but I literally think they're the best team in the league right now. I don't see a thing wrong with them right now. They're great on both sides of the football. Obviously, you got the GOAT, hate to say it, but you got the GOAT back there, quarterback Tom Brady. I'm truly convinced at this point that he's not human.
Mm-hmm.
The guy never stops. Plain and simple. 5 touchdowns against Atlanta, and he's 44 years old.
What was that, like nine touchdowns at that age?
9 touchdowns in 2 games. He's on pace. I don't know the number because it's scary, but he has 9 touchdowns in 2 games. So basically, he's on pace to have 60 touchdowns this season.
Christ, and with the weapons he got, I would not be surprised, man. The Bucs are my picks to repeat, honestly. I don't know if it's too early for that, but yeah, they're repeating.
Yeah, I just don't see a thing wrong with them. Plus, on defense, their pass rush, obviously the best, arguably the best in the league. It's right up there with us, their opponent, the Rams, and Washington. Maybe Vegas now, but they got a really good pass rush. And that leads me to the Rams. I've said for years, Matthew Stafford is the most underrated quarterback I've ever seen. Because let's be honest, when you're with a franchise that's as dysfunctional as Detroit, you're never going to get recognized. Matthew Stafford wasted the first part of his career in Detroit. He has a much better team now in the Rams. He has weapons to throw to now. He's a much better O-line, much better head coach in Sean McVay. And that defense, the Rams are a very well-built machine as far as defense goes. So this is going to be a great game. Possible NFC Championship game preview, in my opinion. I think these are the 2 best teams in the NFC right now. So, yeah, obviously great game here. But I do think the Rams defense is going to get, challenged right here, obviously, because they're going up against Brady in that offense. So, my biggest takeaway here is that I like Tampa's secondary a little bit better than the Rams secondary. And I just think that they obviously have the better quarterback when it comes to that matchup. So I think the Rams will give them a great game here, but I am actually going to go with the Buccaneers to improve to 3-0. Another big factor for me, I don't know if this will translate to LA or not. Matthew Stafford against winning teams has been horrendous. I don't know the exact record, but it's horrible, But like I said, he was with awful Lions teams, so cut him some slack, give him the benefit of the doubt a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If that translates to LA, it is what it is. But my thing is, until he consistently beats good teams, I'm going to pick the opposition every time. So I got the Rams making it a hell of a game, but I'm going to go Bucs here, 32-27. Give me the Bucs.
Yeah, you just can't bet against them, can you?
Nope.
You can't. And that whole thing you said about Stafford, it's very telling. But his performance come Sunday could also be very telling to see what Matthew Stafford is truly made of now that he's without the handcuffs. So I can see this definitely being a close battle for sure. This is going to be, like you said, game of the week. Definitely one to watch for sure. I got to go Bucs, though. Hard to bet against them. Give me the Bucs, 34-31. The matchup's definitely going to be between both defenses, which honestly it could come down to which defense can make the first stop.
Mm-hmm.
Because both offenses are almost unstoppable. So, it's going to be interesting to watch, but give me the Bucs.
No, it's definitely going to be a great game, possibly game of the week, more than likely game of the week.
Could be game of the year, I don't know.
It might be. I would not be surprised. Both teams are great. Stafford's got a new lease on life in L.A. with his targets, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Van Jefferson. He's got some great talent around him, a really decent offensive line now, a great defense in the Rams, but the Bucs, man, reigning Super Bowl champs, they are just completely healthy. They are just loaded with talent. It's so hard to bet against them. Brady is Brady. His targets are fantastic. I mean,
you can't get no better than Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown.
And Rob Gronkowski,
who's had 2 touchdowns the last 3 games, including the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's just hard to bet against the Bucs. So I have to go with Tampa Bay, but I can see this being incredibly close and somewhat of a shootout. I really do. But Tampa Bay, I say they win by a field goal, 38-35.
Should be a damn good matchup for sure. And like Maiden said, a possible preview of the NFC Championship game. Sunday Night Football, we have the Green Bay Packers coming off a much-needed win in Lambeau at the San Francisco 49ers. What's your prediction here?
Well, I got to say, everyone laughed at me when I told them, hey, the 49ers are going to come back this year. And they said, oh, no, they're not. And I said, why? They had half their starters out early in the season last year, and they finished 7-9. You can't compete with that. Mm-hmm. And they're 2-0 right now. Now, I mean, they almost blew it against Detroit in week 1, but, still the 49ers played a good game. Then last week, Philly basically got a garbage time touchdown against them, and the defense looked very good. So, yeah, San Francisco's off to a good start. I think that we just talked about the 3 best teams in the NFC, possibly in the entire league, Tampa, L.A., and San Francisco. The 49ers, they're still a fantastic team. Mm-hmm. Jimmy G still using his legs a little bit, probably making the most of what could be his last year in San Francisco. So, yeah, but, that said, Raheem Mostert out for the year again, and another one of their running backs out, so they're incredibly thin at the run game right now, but that defense they got is still very good. Still a very good defense, a great pass rush they have again. This is a very good 49er team, man, and now they're going up against the Packers at home. Last year, the Packers beat them in San Francisco, but that was because the 49ers, they basically didn't have a team when they were going up against the Packers. But remember 2019, 49ers beat the Packers twice that year, including the NFC Championship game. And the 49ers, when they're healthy, they have one of the best rosters in the league. And even though the Packers won on Monday night against Detroit, they did struggle against them a little bit. So that's a concerning factor for me right there. Plus, Aaron Rodgers, he has always struggled in San Francisco. Kind of like how he does in Florida too, which is why he got blown out by the Saints, because that game was in Jacksonville. Aaron Rodgers always struggles in San Francisco. It's kind of like how Ben always struggled against the Raiders, So I don't know what kind of spell the 49ers have on him, but whatever it is, I think it's going to translate here. And for the second time in 3 years, I got the Niners starting 3-0. I'm gonna go 49ers here, 28-19. I think their defense holds Rodgers in check, and I got the 49ers taking it over the Packers.
Wow, man, you might have just made me a believer. Originally, I had the Packers winning, but after all of that, I'm gonna have to change my mind on the fly. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a battle for sure. The Packers defense is just garbage. Let's be real. It's a one-man show.
It is. It really is.
Yep.
They've even suffered a loss in the pass rush was Zadarius Smith. He ain't going to be back for a few weeks.
No, so, I mean...
Kevin King's still a starter. I don't know why. He gets beat by literally no-name mother freakers.
And it's probably going to happen again because I'm sure... Alexander's going to be on Debo Samuel, who's had a crazy start to the season. But they got Brandon Ayuk, first round out of last year. George Kittle could finally get something going for the first time this season. They are a running back factory, to be real with you. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be a big name to produce in the backfield for San Francisco. And Jimmy G's looking good.
And they could get Trey Lance involved, too, in some ways.
They could. With Kyle Shanahan, anything's possible.
It is.
Man, you might have just made me a believer. I mean, I like the matchup between A-Rod's weapons versus the Niners secondary because it's still iffy. They don't really have a number one corner, and the safeties are still off, to me at least. So I could see the weapons having a solid game, specifically Adams maybe.
Yeah, but you got to think, similar to New Orleans, the Niners have a great pass rush. And if they pressure A-Rod like how the Saints did, A-Rod's going to make mistakes.
And don't forget...
And that's why A-Rod played... One of the reasons why A-Rod played so terrible against New Orleans.
And don't forget, they're not going to have Bakhtiari back for a few weeks.
No.
So, yeah, he's feeling the pressure there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to agree with Maiden, man. He made me a believer. I'm going to go San Francisco. Let's go San Francisco. They start 3-0. I really like this team, man. And they're only going to get better once Trey Lance learns and, gets under center and Shanahan starts getting those brain juices flowing. And they're going to be a dangerous team for sure. They're young. If they can stay healthy, they can be dangerous. Give me San Francisco, 27-26.
Yeah, I'm going to go with San Fran as well. If they can limit A-Rod, I think they got it in the bag. They have the defense capable to do it. Their offense can get things going, especially against a Green Bay defense that's not good. San Fran can definitely get a win here at home, 29-26.
The only thing that would concern me is Green Bay loses here and returns home in Lambeau to face us week 4.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's my only concern going if San Fran loses. So they're going to return home and try to get a victory back. But you know what? Bring on the challenge.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Actually, don't because our offense sucks. But anyway, we have Monday Night Football, an NFC East battle to close out Week 3. We got the Eagles at the Cowboys. These two teams always start off pretty good. And at least let me reiterate it. These two teams always have a good first matchup because both teams don't really – I mean, they look solid, but the NFC East reputation, they didn't really start off good. But what's your prediction?
Well, another team I was wrong about, the Cowboys. I had them finishing third in this division this year, but I will say this about them. Dak Prescott is proving that he is capable of being a starter, and he's really elevated his game. Cowboys, in my honest opinion, have the best receiving core in the league. Even though I still think they're going to be without Michael Gallup because he's dealing with an injury, still there's a lot to like with the Cowboys receiving core, and their O-line definitely isn't what it was 5 years ago when they had that insane season, but it's still good enough for Zeke. Dallas's defense looks improved if they were able to, hold Justin Herbert in check. So, yeah, if the Cowboys can keep this up, I definitely think they have a legitimate chance at winning the NFC East and actually winning that division, not winning it by default like Washington did last year. But I really think that they can be a legit playoff team. Now, granted, I don't think they're a Super Bowl team, but I think I see the competitive side with them. They look like a good team so far. Eagles, they beat up on Atlanta. Atlanta's just terrible this year. But Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith, they look good, but they got held in check by a good defense in San Francisco. So, plus the Eagles, them flying down to Dallas where they usually struggle at. I got to go Cowboys on this one, but I have the Eagles making it a good game just because these two always, it's one of the most bitter rivalries in the NFL, and it's always, it's entertaining, but it's not entertaining to watch, because I'm sick of seeing this game on primetime, but at the same time, that they're always going to give a good game. So I'm going to go Cowboys here 31-24.
Yeah, once again, same prediction. Team and score, 31-24 Dallas. I do see the competitiveness from Dallas this year for sure. Almost won the game against Tampa Bay if they didn't give Brady too much time. I mean, how long has Brady been in this league? And no one's learned their lesson yet. But, Dallas got a rebound win back against Los Angeles last week. So, I mean, good for them. They're coming in hot, returning back home. So, let's go Dallas, 31-24. I just don't know about the Eagles yet. I like what I'm seeing from Hurts. That offense is still a little iffy for me, though.
Now, the Eagles have definitely been more competitive than what I thought they were going to be. They've looked good. Hurts has looked fine. Devonta Smith hasn't looked too bad for a start in his rookie season. Miles Sanders is starting to get into his own with an okay offensive line, I'd say, for the Eagles. The defense ain't that bad. They did lose Brandon Graham, though, for the entire year. I think
that is rough.
I think he tore his Achilles, so he's out for the year. So that pass rush is definitely going to take a hit. But Dallas, man, they just look very strong. They looked very hot even in a loss against Tampa Bay, you know, they got a win back against the Chargers. And I got to say, that defense slowly but surely is starting to look pretty decent so far. They've actually been able to get some turnovers, which is something that Dallas has not been able to do through the past few years on defense. They've been able to do that, and it's helping Dak Prescott in the Dallas Cowboys offense. And I think they can do it again against the Eagles on Monday Night Football at home. I'm going to say Dallas wins here 31-26.
Should be an interesting game, though, for sure, to close out Week 3. Should be interesting Week 3 nonetheless, man. But anyway, guys, that was our Week 3 predictions. Give us your guys' predictions down in the comments below, man. And huge shout, huge thank you to Still Maiden for joining us for this week's predictions, coming back onto the channel. Again, subscribe to him if you haven't already. Links in the description below. Maiden, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Well, thank you guys once again for having me on here. It's always a pleasure. And, hey, you know, if you do sub up to the channel, I do have my weekly picks out as well. I run a pick'em tournament, so that's why the boys are, you know, giving score predictions with me. So I have my Week 3 picks out on my channel. I had a bunch of people drop out in the tournament, so I'm looking to keep it at an even 72. Which works best for the playoff format. So if you're looking to join the tournament, all you got to do is comment in your picks below, and I will put you right in. So, yeah, with that being said, it's late at night. I got to get up in about 10 hours and get back to work, so I'm going to hit the hack. But, yeah, thank you, boys, so much for having me on here. You guys are awesome.
Hey, man, you too, man. Appreciate you coming on this late, man, after you got off work. So glad we could find the time, man. Thanks for coming on. Can't wait to do it again, man. And good luck in the Troy Polamalu autograph signing giveaway, which is the giveaway for all the guests that join us for weekly predictions this year.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Yeah, good luck in that, man. But
once again, thank you to our sponsor, BetQL, the only app you'll need to beat your sportsbook.
Find your information along with a 25% off discount code in the description of this video. And also check out the special BetMGM offer in the description in order to receive a free year of BetQL and other sportsbook sign-up offers and bonuses. Bet on this week's games with BetQL. Definitely sub to Still Maiden if you haven't already. Give us your guys' picks down below. See you guys in the next one.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!